Ooh, what's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another session of Coffee and Martial Arts. Salud, salud, salud. Cheers. Ah, yes. Hey, today we have a very close friend of mine, an old friend of mine, Maestro James Leonard, all the way from Dublin, Ireland. James has been a long time Kenpoist. I met him back in, I think it was 97, back in Pasadena at the Green Street studio. He was one of Larry Tatum's black belt, still is. So it's been, it's been a trip. We used to be roommates with Cliffy Munster. Salud to Clifton Seminario. So he has a lot of stories to share. So let's just bring the man in. I'm very honored and happy to have him here. Hi, what's up, Jaime?
Frank, how are you?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Good. It's really nice to have you here.
Likewise. It's been quite a while.
It's been a while. Yes, it has been. Okay. So we have salutes already. Saludos from Santa Fe, Argentina. Ernesto Colbrenner. Nice. Thank you, sir. Okay, so let me make the announcements. Okay, so we are going live from our YouTube page. Okay, you can find us on, Kinetic Dragon. That's the Spanish version, Dragon Kinetico, but we have the Dragon YouTube channel. Okay, you can find us there. Also, we are going live through the International Hall of Fame of Argentina. It's Internacional Hall of Fame. You can see it there. We are, it's nice to, they let us be a part of this nice group. So that we're going on Facebook and also on my fan page, Master Frank Soto. You can find me there. We're also there. Okay, so thank you all for being here. We have another hello from Richard Matthews.
Matthews, how are you?
Hey, Rick. Good evening, Frank and James. Good evening, sir. Pues Rafael Herrera from Spain. Saludos. Saludos, grandes maestros. Okay. A friend of yours, Maestro, yes. Patrick Kennedy. Hi, James. All your team of black belt instructors and students in Kingswood Kenpo will be looking on the night, so please say hi to them all. Pat Secretary, LTGG Ireland.
Indeed.
Nice. Nice. So every time I have a new guest here, I always ask the same first question, or it's more like a request. Could you share a little bit of your background of, how just briefly how you started with the martial arts and how you got to where you're at? Por favor.
Sure. Yeah. So when I was 10 years old, I was actually bullied in school. And I remember there was one of my classmates we're on a break and he was throwing kicks up in the air and I was looking at him, wow, what's that? I said, oh, it's Kenpo. I was like, oh, what's Kenpo? And he started to tell me about it. So I went down to one of the classes one day and nice. It was a gentleman called Tony Farrell who was teaching. And I loved it. I got stuck in straight away, got to really enjoy it and got involved and kind of kept training. And back then, in those days, it was the traditional Kenpo, right. Which was John McSweeney Kenpo in Ireland at the time. So it was quite different, and there was a lot of focus on combat, on sparring. So we would do our 10-15 minute warm up. We'd do 15 minutes, 20 minutes on techniques, performance and stuff, and then a good half hour, 45 minutes of sparring. So
the Irish fighting spirit was there, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, and I think that was pretty much standard across all clubs in Ireland and the UK at the time.
Beautiful.
Back when we had the white mitts, the white foam mitts with a little bit of right. cloth on them, we didn't have the foam. Right. Yeah, the old hand mitts, and we tear into each other, and it was great. I loved it, enjoyed it. From there, went on to college. I was still training. Used to go to tournaments all the time, that kind of thing. And then I went to Spain on my Erasmus year, which is kind of a study abroad year. And I was in Madrid. And while I was there, I was itching to train again, to keep my training going. So I found there was a club in the university, and that was where Jorge Jimenez was teaching, along with Adolfo Wilmo. And
Nice.
that's where I started to transition over to the new style of Kenpo, the Ed Parker modern style.
Okay.
And, I trained there for a year and a half or so, 2 years, got to meet some very good people. I tested with Alfonso. Unfortunately, I can't remember his last name.
What was
but
that, 90s?
that would have been early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah, 93 to 95.
So you've only done Kenpo?
Sorry?
Only Kenpo. You only trained Kenpo?
When I was in Ireland, I started training a little bit of Shotokan for a little while. I was in Spain. I was doing some Taekwondo and a couple of other things as well. So I did jiu-jitsu also in traditional jiu-jitsu when I was in Madrid. So I started to kind of augment my Kenpo training as it's going along. And then I met two very, very good Kenpoists over there, Sergio and Carlos Jodar. Ended up becoming good friends with them. Then eventually moved over to the US and was recommended to check out Larry's dojo when I was there. And I got a written letter from my instructor in Spain to go over to present myself, if you'd like to put it, to Larry to let him know who I was. And I remember going into the Green Street dojo and stepping on the mats and just talk about nerves. Like just,
when was this? Which year?
That would have been in 96, I think it was. So 96 or 97. Sometime around then. It could have been earlier, actually. I don't remember exactly when I went over there. But I remember, stepping out on the mats with Larry and he kind of watched a couple of my forms and that kind of thing. And he gave that kind of smile and he said, well, there's potential, and trained for the summer while I was there, and then ended up staying. And Larry asked if I'd be interested in working out of the studio. So it was a very interesting path for me to get to Pasadena. Quite. So,
was I already there when the first time you got there, or was it prior?
No, I think you came shortly after. So I was pretty new, I think, when you arrived. So it probably was 96 then?
Yeah, the first time I got to Larry's was 96, but when I stayed there for a year was 97.
So it was sometime around then, because I remember you at the dojo when you first came in, and that you were brown belt at the time, right?
No, that was not my first time. The first time I was there, I was a blue belt.
Blue belt, okay. Then maybe.
So, not sure. I must have been there prior to you, but then I was going there for a week and stuff, and then we'll go back home and stuff like that.
Right.
So we got there around the same time that Cliff did, Jeff did. We were all around that same era.
There's actually a picture of you with the green belt when I'm in it. So I think it must have been there at that stage.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, okay. Right. Some stage around there. Yeah. Yes. That picture you showed that last week, that was I think I kind of remember that conversation actually.
I think you're looking at I'm gonna kick your butt, Frankie. That's probably what you're thinking, yeah.
Yeah, there was no kicking your butt, Frankie.
Yeah, but you did try, so
oh well, yeah, you're a big man though. I was a skinny guy. I tried.
It was part of the training.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some more comments. Let me say hi to people here. Matt Park says, "What's up, Jay?"
Hey. How you doing, Matt?
Nice. Angela, fly, Patty boy, fly. Nice.
Good to see you, Angela. I think wasn't it Potato Boy? I think that was you said, "Fly, Potato Boy, fly," something like that. Anyway,
maybe it's just trying to be nice.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Warren says, "Hi, James. Have a great time with you. Thank you, sir." Ernesto Landero, cheers from Mexico. Thank you. Saludos. Gracias. Jennifer Walker says hi from your favorite brown belts, Ian and Jennifer.
Jennifer, how are you? One of
Nice.
the ladies in Dublin train with.
Nice, nice. Jeffrey Kolaski, salute, gentlemen. Salute, Jeff.
Jeff, how are you, sir?
He says, the three of us slept on the mat on Green Street a few times. That's right. That's right.
That's why I think Jeff was one of the first people. I stayed in his studio apartment for a couple of nights when I first moved out to Pasadena.
Okay, so it was that was 97 and I was already there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
lived in that apartment when Jeff moved there. He let me stay there for like 4 months, something like that. Until he got tired of me and kicked me out. No, I'm just kidding. And then in 98, we got the house, the Kenpo house, remember?
That's right. Casa de Kenpo. That's right. The original Casa de Kenpo.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. But let's not take away anything from Juan and Clefe.
No. I don't mean to.
They have done an amazing job. Angela says it was 97. See, there you go. Thank you. And Jeffrey says it was Potato Boy.
It was
Potato Boy. Oh, Angela says it was most definitely Patty. Okay, so we have a contest here. Let's make a vote. Is it Potato or Patty? Alicia said, "Buenos dias, gentlemen." Buenos dias, Alicia. Yeah. Nice to see you. Oh man, this is nice. Alicia, you should be on the show soon. Okay, so you started training when you were 10, and then you did a lot of fighting back in the days. Then you moved to Madrid, and you studied there for several years, right? You went to college there. 2 years. Yeah. And then eventually you came to the U.S. in 97.
Yep. Stayed there for 2 years, 3 years or so at the studio. And then I went back to Ireland, and I had a club in Dublin City University where I was studying at the time. I finished off my studies, and had an all-styles martial arts club, which was quite interesting because I would teach Kenpo on the Tuesday, and then would have a guest instructor from a different style on the Thursday. And so we had people from all over the world who were studying there. And so we had like an Aikido 6th degree from Japan who's there. We had a guy who trained in ninjutsu. We had jiu-jitsu guys, everything. Muay Thai kickboxers from France and Thailand. So every Thursday you got a different flavor, a different taste of what the martial arts could offer, you know. So
nice.
Yeah, it was fun. And I brought Larry over that year, I think it was. I think that was the year you came to.
That was 99, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, actually, with all due respect, but Larry was sharing with me the other day when I did the interview on him, before we got live, we were talking a little bit, and he started sharing that story when we got to Dublin, and your mother, God bless her soul, picked us up at the airport, got us in the car and start driving in this little freaking roads. You know, I don't know where, the back of Dublin, I don't know where it was. Just going like a maniac. I'm just grabbing like a freaking cat, right? And Larry's like looking at me. I'm looking at Larry, and Larry's saying, yeah, I know what, Larry said, I knew what you were thinking. He said, you were thinking, sir, how did we get into this, and how are we going to get out of this, right? It's because I had this look on my face like, damn it.
I think she might actually be watching right now, and if she is, I think she's going to just either go beetroot red or going to laugh her ass off, because she is now a completely reformed driver. She no longer whips around. And in fairness to her, she never had an accident, you know? So you were pretty much in safe hands. But speed limit is like, and under the speed limit, like just dawdling along now, completely different to the way she used to be. But yes, I understand what you went through.
Please send my regards. Remember that. Yes. I mean, that was, oh my God, it was an experience, let's just say, because I remember you didn't have a driver's license there. You just applied, and you explained that it took forever there to get a license in Ireland. you were going through that process because you were recently back in the country and all that stuff.
Right.
I remember that. Okay, so we have more hellos. John Leonard. Buenos dias from New Zealand. Nice. Angela says, I say we duke it out. Haha, me, James, and Jeffy. It's over. Nice. Okay. It's on. Okay, I'll be the judge. Okay, Alicia says, oh, you crazy, Francisco. Me? Nah, just a little bit. Loco. Yep. I love you, but you're crazy. Yes. Love you too, and I mean it. You should be on the show. High regards. Patrick Kennedy says, James, you were responsible for recommend us to Grandmaster Tatum. Thank you for that. The year was 2002. Nice.
That's right.
Nice.
That was actually when, so after Larry came, actually, funny story, Frankie was staying at our house while we had the seminars going on and that. And one morning he came in and he was just like, I can't believe it. I burnt my toe. I'm like, what? What do you mean you burnt your toe? It's like, on the radiator. Your radiator burnt my toe. And my sister couldn't stop laughing at you. She was only 10 or 11 at the time, or whatever she was, but she was just laughing that this big giant man was complaining about the fact that his toe got burnt on the radiator.
Well,
lucky you had Frankie.
We don't have those types of radiators here, man. We just don't.
True, I know. It's a kind of a uniquely Irish European thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, after that seminar, I was chatting with my instructor here in Ireland, Mr. Patrick Kennedy, and introduced Larry and Patrick, and then Patrick and a few other gentlemen, John Birch and others, went over to Pasadena and trained and kind of back and forth with Larry, and ended up bringing the association over to Ireland. So that was one, and then subsequently we had the seminars in Spain, if you remember, where I was in communication with my old instructors in Spain, and we ended up going over to Madrid in 2001, I think it was, and you were there with me on that one as well. And that's how we got the association set up in Spain. Yeah, Madrid. Remember that?
It was same year, 99.
Was it 99? No. Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I remember I did a lot of traveling with Mr. Tatum, 98, 99. We went to Venezuela, to Ireland, to England, and to Spain those 2 years. And also, we went to Vegas to the Gathering of the Eagles.
Okay,
So,
yes. I was in Ireland.
You was there. You were there too, remember?
I don't remember if it was the Gathering of the Eagles that was there. No, I don't think I was there for that one.
I think so.
I think it was at the one in Pasadena. What was that one? Not the Twin Palms tournament. The one that was in the Pasadena Civic Center.
Yeah, you were in the when we went to the NASCAR tournament. I remember that one. But I think you were not there for the Gathering of the Eagles. That was at Tropicana, and I think it was 99.
I don't think so. No, I remember the NASCAR tournament though. That was crazy. That's when the big fight broke out in the middle of the arena, and you had a dozen black belts and all that beating the crap out of each other. The police came in and everything.
Oh man, I'm not sure I was there
for that part. I thought you were. Well,
I don't remember. When we saw
Big Will.
I mean, we went so many places. Were you at the tournament of what was it? Bob White's tournament down in?
No, I was teaching. I think I had to teach class that night instead while all you guys went down.
Oh, sorry about that. That was fun.
Yeah, so I heard.
Frank Vigorino says, "Big hug, Frank, in regards to Jaime." Thank you, sir. Mr. Vigoriux, Matador, yes, sir. Catherine Letter Sumter says, "Hello, Master Frank and Senior Instructor Jaime. Cheers from the Olympic Peninsula."
Nice to see you.
So, are you wearing a 4th degree now, James?
I am, yes. I ended up. I've been injured for the last 10 years or so. I basically have a collapsed disc. So my training has been kind of got put in the back burner a bit, and
I see.
I ended
Sorry
up
about that.
broken ribs when I went back. Same thing, broken ribs a couple of times. So been
That's what
slow.
happens when you mess with a Mexican, man.
Never happened with you.
I remember I used to bully you a lot. Sorry about that.
Hey, I was an easy target back then. I was an easy target, in fairness. I was a nice guy.
Yeah, you were
Still
one of the
nice
guys.
guy.
So that's what we did to each other back in those days. Basically. I mean, William will bully us around on the mat, remember?
William, so the first week or first couple of days I was there, I was sparring. And as I said, in Ireland, we're pretty good sparrers. We like to spar a lot. But the one thing is that the groin is not a target in Ireland. So we do a lot of the high kicks going up, So I'm up there, bam, 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 And Will's just looking at me kind of like, as he goes. And all of a sudden, just straight front kick into the groin. Down I go. And I'm like, oh, okay. I get up. I guess he, maybe didn't mean to do that, whatever. So straight again, start out again. Pop, pop, pop. Kick's going out again. He looks at me again. Funny. He's like, bump. And I drop down again. I get up. And he's like, why are you leaving your groin open? I'm like, what do you mean? Why are you kicking me in the groin? He's like, the groin's target. I was like, so that was one of the things that kind of actually impacted me in many ways. Not only from the fact that I got hit in the groin twice by William, but your training, how you train, affects your ability to react to things and that kind of thing. And if you train and without any sort of power, any sort of control of what the shots you're throwing and that kind of thing, or you don't train with realism, you're not training correctly, Right. So the idea of no targets are not allowed. All targets have to be allowed, and you have to be able to control your shots to them and that kind of thing, and be able to block them as well, obviously, or defend against them.
Right. But that is your awareness, right? Agree. Yeah.
That was my intro to Will.
Hello to Catherine. Sorry I didn't say hi. Hello, Guru. Damien Abbott says teaching assume, James, but enjoy every minute.
Good to see you, Damien.
Alicia says gathering of the Eagles was amazing road trip. Yes, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, I think it was that time we stopped at there was a hotel. I think it was in the border of California and Nevada, close to Vegas, where they had this big, huge roller coaster, and we stopped there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that trip or the other one, but yeah, I remember. And we were, I think I drove back from Vegas with Alicia in her little pickup truck. And didn't you drive up there in one of the trips to Vegas in your little red car?
Yes, I knew this was going to come out. Yes, I did.
The little car that you bought for like, what was it, about like $500 or something like that?
$500. It was a Pontiac Fiero.
I remember.
Oh yeah, dude, that was a great little car. I loved it.
That was amazing, yeah.
But the speedometer only went to 95. So I remember going out, and I think I was teaching late or something like that, and you guys all went ahead of me to Vegas, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta catch up.
Right.
So went out on the 10 to the 15. As soon as I got to the 15, I was like, okay, better put the foot down. And back then, a bit young and silly, but I didn't know how fast I was going because, it got to 95, and I don't know, maybe I was going faster.
I didn't remember this.
I remember I stopped for to get some food and go to the gas station and all that kind of stuff. And I still got to Vegas 20 minutes before any of the rest of you guys.
You were flying that little thing, right?
Yeah. I have no idea how that car survived that trip. On the way back, I blew out a tire on the California border. And because it was fishtailing so much, the second tire came off the rim. And I was a kid at the time, so what kid? I was young adult at the time with not a whole lot of money to my name.
You were a kid.
I think it was payday. Yeah, fair enough. It was payday the week after, or a couple of days later. So I had literally €10 on me or something like that, $10 on me. And so the tow truck driver brought me back to the Calico, the little ghost town there. And he's like, okay, it's going to be 100 and whatever to fix your car. I'm like, I don't have 100 whatever. And he looked at me. He's like, well, I've got to do something. So I was like, okay, take my CD changer and my radio and keep that as a deposit. If I don't come back tomorrow, you have something for it. He's like, oh, fair enough. So he gave me 10. He let me keep the $10 for gas money, and that's it. I had to drive all the way back up to get in the car with the tire repaired, come back out the next day and pay him.
Yeah, wow, I didn't remember all that. Yes.
Yeah, that was all from that trip.
Man, yeah. See, you were a kid, so we didn't mind back in those days, you know?
Yeah.
Angela says dry ice.
Oh, come
on. Okay,
yes.
You are being bullied, my friend.
Yes. See, yeah.
But not by me.
Yeah. In Spain, when we were at that seminar, we were all out. I think that was the night that I brought everybody out, because when I lived there, I was working in the bar, so I knew all the bar owners and things like that. So I brought everybody around, and everybody had a great night in that. But we were in some place that we had a drink with dry ice in it, and it was like a volcano type drink, and you were there too, weren't you? I think you were.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. I was talking to Sergio or Carlos and one of those guys, and one of the other guys grabbed a piece of dry ice and put it in my hand. And, most people just drop it, whatever, and he's holding on to my hand as if I was just like, all right, whatever. So I kept talking, and they're like, oh, crap, okay. So they let go, and I opened it up, not realizing exactly, how bad the burn was going to be. And I think you remember seeing it the next day. My hand was like this, just a giant, it was literally a tennis-sized ball on my hand, blister. And I remember I had to wrap it up. And I went to the seminar, and Larry kind of looked at me, and and Jill was not pleased. But yeah, we went on.
We were not just kids; we were very stupid kids. Yes,
but we had fun.
Alicia was right, crazy. Yeah, we were just crazy.
Yeah, we did some silly stuff.
Yeah, I remember one night you were working at was it McMurphy's? And I think it was Thanksgiving, and we were walking around and having some drinks, and then we got to the pub, and come on, Francisco, you need to help me out here, work for the night. I'm really, no, man, it's like, we're drinking, man. I just had a couple of drinks and stuff. They're gonna pay you $40. Okay, man. Of course, $40 back then, it was like, oh yeah, that's a meal and a couple of beers for sure, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, I remember.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I also remember one night, and this is a good story.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we were at it was right after advanced class, and we went to the pub, that same pub. And I remember they went downstairs, I think, and they had pool tables. So we were playing pool. I think it was, I don't know if it was Cliff, Jeff, and you and myself. There were like 3 or 4 of us. And then there was this girl sitting down with a couple of guys. And of course, Jaime had to be the playboy, right? So you invited the girl a drink. Yes, it was you. Yeah, you don't even remember. So you send the girl a drink. And I'm like, oh man, no. God, because there were 2 guys. They were not really good. They were in a group. So you thought, well, why not just send her a drink, right? So the 2 guys, of course, get pissed. So I think they challenge us to a pool game. So, of course, I knew how to play pool, right? And I said, okay. So I start playing pool, And I think we lost the first game. So it was a double of nothing thing. And, of course, we beat the guys. And we ended up with like $40 or something like that. And the guys were so pissed, right? You fool, you played us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you wanted to play, you lost. You wanted to bet, you lost. And then the guys started to pick a fight. I don't know if it was you who sent the drink or it was Cliff. That I will give you that, the benefit of the doubt.
It must have been Cliff, because I don't think I did that.
Yeah, probably. But this is not the worst part yet. So the argument starts. So one of the guys comes and of course, well, what the hell, right? So we start arguing, blah blah blah, and then you step in and said, "You don't want to mess with this Mexican," and I'm like, "Oh shit, here we go." He trains the police and the federales down in Mexico, so he's gonna kill him. And I'm like, shit, man. Oh man, don't. So finally, one guy took us out of there, and we left. But it was going to be a big fight because you had to open your mouth because you already had a couple of boombas. Remember the boombas?
God, those 52-ounce drinks or something like that. Yeah.
So you were already a little bit tipsy, to say the least. You shut the fuck.
Sorry, Frankie. 25 years later, whatever. Sorry.
It was fun. Nothing happened. We left, but oh man, those were the days. Yeah. Sure. Sigong Angel Alberto Velasquez. Hello there. What's new? Hello, sir. Having a good time here. Yeah. Jeffrey Kolaski said the Fiero. That's right. It was a Fiero. Pontiac Fiero. Yep. Right.
Great
cool. Car though. Cool. Let's see if I find an image of that. Because it was a nice. I remember it was only 2 seats, right?
Yeah, a little 2-seater, rear engine.
What was it like? Yeah. Here it is. Okay, I think I found something. Okay, this I don't think it was this nice, but yeah, let's share screen. Okay. That's the one over there, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Did you look like Hall & Oates?
Dude. I don't know if I was that suave in fairness.
I think yeah. I think you look like Hall & Oates. Cliffy and you, Hall & Oates, yeah.
Yeah, the Beetle, remember?
What's that?
Cliff had the Beetle.
That's right. The gay car, right? I'm sorry. Did I say that? No. Sorry. Just thought about it. Yeah, we used to give him so much trouble for that, but that was a nice car too. Yeah. See? Always bullying each other, right?
Yeah. That house is crazy, man. Yeah, she was.
Jill was so mad at you for that.
Mm-hmm. She was pissed. And rightly so. I mean, it was a stupid thing, but yeah, kids, we do stupid things.
Well, we were young for sure. We're not young anymore. I don't know if we're wiser, but we're not that young anymore.
Yeah. Was a different
Buenas tardes, Big Master. Saludos desde Brazil. Saludos, Carlos. Okay, Mr. Kennedy says, ask James what he remembers about
birthdays.
Okay.
So in Dublin when I was a kid, I used to train in Baldoyle, where I kind of grew up. I went to school and that kind of thing. I lived in Sutton, but I grew up down there and went to Raheny on, I think it was like Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays or something like that, and Sundays. And on the weekends, we would have what was called a manhunt, where we go to the local park and you'd have one of the instructors and then 2 or 3 of the maybe like brown belts or whatever would go and essentially take off into the park. And then you had 60, 80 kids, teenagers, and we'd all launch into the park. They get like a 2-minute head start. And then the idea was that we hunt them down. And in doing that, we literally had, you had to tackle them and you would use Kenpo. I mean, they would defend themselves with Kenpo and we would use Kenpo on them. And it was a very interesting way because, I mean, the amount of running you did around the park, we were nonstop moving. And you'd kind of try and do, strategic moves to tackle them and that. And you always make sure you're never caught by yourself or else you were just done for, But Paddy, the club out there, we had tournaments all the time. He had, probably like 150 students there, like regular students. And then we'd have all the different clubs from around the areas, and that would all come down there once once every 6 months or 3 months, whatever it was. We'd have big tournaments and that kind of thing. It was good times. A lot of people from there, like Jason O'Keefe and John Gavin and Robbie Hall, used to were all like around my level or a little bit higher, and I'd end up they'd be kind of people I'd end up sparring against a lot.
Wow.
Who else? I mean, there was just a great crew of people down there, and a lot of them went on to start their own clubs and associations and that sort of thing in Ireland as well. So yeah, it was a good time back in Raheny.
Interesting. Maestro Scott Higgins says, "Greetings, Sensei Frank and Sensei James."
Scott, how are you, sir?
At High Street.
I only went a couple of times. I didn't train there for any length of time. I would go there for the odd seminar, or every year or two we'd end up going down. My main place for training was in Baldoyle, Raheny, and then also in Kingswood, which is the club I train at now, still going. But High Street, I would only go every once in a while, usually for seminars and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Patrick asked, how many times?
As many or as few times as everybody else. A couple of times anyway. That was the thing. If you were caught by yourself, you would end up literally, you'd either get your shoes would be taken off, you'd thrown up a tree, or you get thrown into the pond or something. Yeah, it was different times. You couldn't do that nowadays.
No, I bet not. But yeah, the 80s was a very interesting era for sure.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Like I said, we were kids and we were very stupid. Yes, not a very good combination, man. And stupid with initiative. So yeah, we did a lot of crazy, stupid things, but fun. Angela says, "Ha ha ha!" Francisco looking up the car. He had two of them. One was red, the other was silver.
Yeah, I don't think Frankie ever saw the silver one.
No, but there it is, right? That's a silver one right there.
Too, yeah. Both.
No, I didn't see the silver one.
Yeah, that second one was a piece of junk, but hey.
Richard Martin says, Jason O'Keefe, top man.
Yes, he is. Good guy. Very good martial artist. I think he's won several championships sparring, and I think in forms as well over the years.
So when you started Kenpo, you did the okay. I remember that. I remember that square stance. That very wide, like it was not like a neutral bow, but in the groin post. I remember you did that. Yeah.
You get me abused for that all the time.
yeah. I used to give you crap about it. Yeah, I was bad. Sorry for that, man.
It took me a while to get out of it, but yeah, I know that's the style I did too. Yeah.
And you were, hard stylist, because I don't want to say stiff because that doesn't sound right, but I remember you were very like that hard style. You had that hard karate background.
Right.
So how was your transition from the old version of Kenpo to the new version of Kenpo?
Difficult. For me, it was very difficult because I think there was so many, it was 10 years or 9 years of being ingrained in doing a certain way. Right. It's muscle memory and everything else. You have to break that. And it took a good 6 months to a year for me to really kind of start that, to not so much complete. I mean, you never completely learn something, but to break what I had and to kind of remold and readapt myself to the new system. It took a lot of effort. It took a lot of mental, focus and that kind of thing to try and do that. I found certain things were very easy to do and other things were more difficult. I think the stance transitions were probably one of the more difficult things in the beginning to get the neutral bow correct, the toe to heel alignment, all that kind of thing. Not selling too deep and stuff like that. But other things were a lot easier, I think, like the blocks, adjusting the blocks. Like our blocks back in the day were, there were the vertical 90 degrees kind of thing, and instead of the 45s, and that kind of stuff made more sense. And I think once I started to understand the logic of Kenpo a bit better, and that was the other thing too. Back in Ireland, well, mainly in Ireland, in Spain it was different because my understanding of the language at the time wasn't great. But in Ireland, we didn't have, the names were numbers. We had numbers for each of the techniques, and the explanation wasn't given really the same way as in modern Kenpo. We didn't learn why we were doing things. It was rote memory, a lot of it, So you did the block, you did the punch, you knew there was a punch coming in or a kick coming in, you're blocking and you're attacking. That was it.
Well, that works.
Yeah, and it worked to the degree. But understanding why you're doing everything really helps you to change your physical response to things, and that. After I understood, started to make some changes mentally and understood that better, made it a lot easier.
Right. I guess it's also a better way to enhance or to get that maximum result when you understand what you're doing, right?
Yeah. If you don't understand, for example, the forms in Ireland were taught as a series of movements, and there was no sort of understanding that it was a set of techniques put together, whereas, in the US, I keep saying the US because for me it's always US versus Ireland. But when I was in Pasadena, it was very much like it's this technique into this technique into that technique, and the flow was there, and the understanding and the meaning behind it meant a lot more than in Ireland, where we were still doing the old techniques, if you like to put it, but the forms were based on more up to date techniques. So there was a disconnect between what we were doing and how we were doing it and why we were doing it,
Right.
I think that.
I'm sorry. Go, please.
Yeah, and that was something that once I understood that as well, it made my learning forms and techniques and everything a lot easier.
I think you did the book set in those forms back in those days.
Yeah, we did book set. That was. I haven't done that in a long time now, but we still practice that here. Actually, there's some people that still use it in forms in competitions and that here and do quite well with it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, competitions back in Ireland is were something that we would go into all the time. Every weekend or every other weekend there'd be a competition somewhere, and we'd drive up around the country and take part, and sparring wise, loved it. My forms, I was not as big a fan, so yeah.
That's the one, right?
Yep, it's a variation of that, yeah.
Yeah. So it was more like a Chinese.
Yeah, I think it came originally from Hungar, was my understanding.
I think this was some of Jimmy Woo's influence.
Yes.
Back in late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
I think it was more like late 50s when the form came into Kenpo. And let's remember, I think McSweeney took Kenpo to Ireland in 62, right?
62 or 63, I think it was, yeah. A guy that does that, James Breen, he has won so many tournaments with that form, the book set. Just a phenomenal version of it that he does, which I haven't seen in a long time, but he was a very good practitioner of that form.
Nice. Patrick says, when you go to a disco, senior instructors get free choice.
Yeah, not going to talk about that one, buddy. No, said I wasn't going to. Pass.
Angela says, Bob Rose gave me the book set when I was in Ireland. I loved it. Nice.
Yeah, well, Angela, in fairness, your forms there, you have an excellent ability when it comes to forms. So I'm not surprised that you enjoyed it, because I'd say it would suit you quite well.
Were you at the, let's see, you remember this seminar we did in Exeter? Were you there?
No, I wasn't in the Exeter. I wasn't there, no.
Yeah, Alan was there.
Hmm?
Alan Ellis, he was there.
Yes.
You can see him right there.
Yep, I see him there.
And this was set up by Damien, I believe.
Probably, yeah. Okay, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, there's Mr. Singh. What's his name? From yeah,
Amric Singer.
Amric. Yes.
Back, a lot more hair there.
Yep. Well, that was 99.
I was a 99 as well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and of course that's me dumbing up for assisting Mr. Tatum, maestro.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a while back as well. That was back in those days. Actually, look at this. Alan Ellis. Yeah. Hi, guys. Just getting on it late as teaching Assume. Nice memories of training with James ahead of my black belt test with Mr. Tatum. Of course, both of you guys were there on the panel. It was always a pleasure to train with and spend time in your company. Very best wishes.
Thanks very much, Alan. Appreciate it. Likewise. Very much enjoyed working with Alan when...
okay, he doesn't look the same in the picture. See, as he does... I think he's.
The hair went the other way.
You can see him right there.
Yeah, on the right hand side.
Yep, right behind Mr. Tatum, right there. Yep. So, been a while, Maestro Ellis. Cheers. Now, wow. Richard Matthews says Tiger and Crane book said Big Hungar influence. Yes.
Right.
Agree. So you did. I remember you did that transition. So by the time you got to in '97, by the time you got to Larry, you were already a black belt. I remember that, right?
Yes, I had a black belt, first degree in Spain, actually.
And I remember I used to give you a lot of crap about that because, like I said, you were an easy target. But I did respect your abilities fighting and stuff. I was just mean back in those days. Not anymore, my friend. Sorry about that.
Hey, Frank, it's funny. We used to get on, even back in the day when we had the back and forth.
Yeah, of course.
Heck, we went to Mexico City, brought us out to Teotihuacan and all that.
That was 2006, I believe.
I think so, yeah. 6 or 7, one of those years,
no,
yeah.
I think it was 2006 because it was election day.
That's right. You're right. It was. Yeah. Everything was closed. Was it like no alcohol for 2 days or something?
Yep.
Afraid it was going to go riot or something.
It was election weekend, so it must have been June of 2006.
Okay. Yeah.
The beginning, the first days of June usually is when the elections are done. It was a presidential election, and we went to Teotihuacan. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we had a great time.
Great trip. Loved it and really enjoyed it. But yeah, no, you're a good guy.
Yeah, you were an easy target.
Yeah, well, Cliff was saying about the Kenpo House the other day. I mean, that was such an experience because if you think about it, you had 3 guys that all we did was we lived, ate, slept, and taught Kenpo. That's all we did. It was 24/7 for us, and I learned so much even being in the house with you guys. Because we would sit down.
We just need to say something. It was Kenpo and alcohol.
Yeah, well, okay, fair enough. Kenpo and alcohol, yes. Various mixes of the two. But we used to put on the DVDs or whatever, VHS, whatever it was back then. There's just all different kung fu movies and then tapes of Ed Parker and different everything. Actually,
William was a member of this club down in Alhambra that he will drive down to get all this Chinese weird kung fu movies. They were not even dubbed in English.
Stacks and stacks of VHS and DVDs of everything. The weirdest, oddest, most random martial arts movies you'd ever heard of or never heard of.
Yeah,
and we watched crazy stuff. Yeah.
We saw so many of those films,
And we ended up, do you remember when Larry came one day, we went to the studio and I don't remember who, I think it was Jeff was walking across the mat and Larry just turns around and goes, "What's this?" And he had a credit card. And he just goes,
Right.
And flung it across.
Hit the staff.
That's right. Yeah. Popped it off the rack. And
off the rack,
And for the next week at the house, we were at one side of the living room, just throwing cards across onto the board across the other side. We did that for like 2 weeks, and we could never do it the way he did it.
No,
Anyway.
no. Yeah, but I remember that. Angela says, Frankie, your memory is scary, dude. Wow. Well, it helps to be around you people. You know, it makes me remember. Thank you. Thank you, James, for the memory, going down the memory lane. Thank you. Sifu Marcos Flores, mis saludos cordiales desde Asunción, Paraguay.
Buenas.
Gracias, Sifu. Saludos. Pure Technique says, some great stories on Kenpo. Look up Tiny Lafiti, Splashing Hands. He knew Mr. Parker very well. Yes, I know who Mr. Lafiti was. He passed away back in '73, I believe. He was an amazing practitioner. Yes, Lima Lama practitioner. I'm also a Lima Lama black belt, so I know who the man was. Yes, and I heard very good things about him from the Toilo Zengas. Okay. Jeffrey says, I had a bruise on my thigh. Never forget. Yeah, that's right. He hit Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff as well. Yeah, that's right. As I said, Jeff was walking across.
Right. Never forget it. Yeah, we were all like, wow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one day we were at the studio, and I think we were doing a staff set or something like that. So I remember Larry getting the staff and start doing the set. And then he did the spinning butterfly kicks, and he did them beautifully. You know, he did the leap and the kick way high, whack, 2 or 3 times, and we were like looking at him like, what the hell? He can kick high, right? Because he was usually low kicks.
Yeah.
And he looked like at us like, what? You didn't think I could do it or something? Like
Yeah, I probably had this little wry grin on his face too.
I also remember that day, and I'm going to mention this. I'm going to be, I guess, okay, I will bully you just now, okay? But I'll be nice. But I remember that day, and I will tell this story because I need to tell it from my point of view. I remember that day you were teaching at the studio. I think probably early '98, I guess, January or something like that. And you were teaching class, and you started doing all these exercises that you did back in Ireland, like grabbing the legs and doing all that stuff, and doing all these crazy things. And I'm watching, I'm like, oh man, this is not going to go well. This is just not going to go well. But you were the instructor, so I couldn't say anything, right? It was not my class, but I'm looking at Larry, and Larry's like,
yeah.
And I'm like, damn, this is not going to. I need to tell you something funny though. But so I remember said, Francisco, tell James to stop the class and bring him in to the office now. You two and Cliff. I'm like, oh, damn it. Okay. So I don't know who. I think we asked somebody to take over the class. So he brings us into the office, and then he just goes at it.
Riot act.
God damn it. Why are you doing this? Because I think what happened, one of the girls in class bent the arm wrong and got a little bit injured when you were doing the cartwheels.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay.
So Larry just went after us. So I remember you guys were standing in front and I was right behind you. But this is the thing. 2 weeks prior to that, he gave me the same lecture. That's why I didn't take it that bad, because he had already stepped on my ass before, right? So I'm just quiet. I'm like, oh, I know where he's going because he just did it to me a couple of weeks ago, and I felt like crap, right? And he just, wow, God damn it. And then I remember your face turning all red, like we didn't like screwing up, right? Nobody did. And you were really, really sad. And you walked out of the office and went into the bathroom, and I didn't say a thing, so we all left the office, right? Just like, very serious. And then Larry just sat down, cool off, and then, Francisco, come here. So I walked back in, said, was it too bad? You didn't know that part of the story. So was I really bad? I said, yeah, sir. You really, I think you went a little bit over the top. Damn it. He said, where's James? He said, well, I think he's crying in the bathroom, man. He's just really feels. I think he's really. This is what I said.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not saying this
Okay.
happened. You were all red and you went into the bathroom to wash your face. And we were upset, of course. I mean, we're all
yeah, absolutely.
And I said, God damn it, he said. Okay, call James in. Said, okay, so James. So he apologized to you or whatever and said, oh, it's okay. I get carried away, whatever. Nah.
I remember that. I mean, I'll never forget that. It was talk about the intensity of, first of all, Mr. Tatum is an intense man when you're training with him, when he's doing anything with you, and you know, this laser focus, you know, when he's anything he does with you.
Right.
You sense it, right? But when he's yelling at you, when he's, oh man, talk about like your heart's like,
oh yeah.
Oh, it was weird.
I mean, in that time, I knew how you felt because I felt the same way 2 weeks prior to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually remember one day I got into, I think it was a brown belt, and I got into, just flew into Pasadena. I was still not there. I think it was late 96. And I got into the studio, but I didn't sleep the night before because I slept at the airport, you know, when you travel and all that stuff. And he was giving me a private lesson, and he was teaching me circling the storm, right?
Okay.
So with the block, do the double elbow. And then when you're doing the double elbow, he wanted to do the insert, the finger hook to the ice, right? And I just couldn't do it. My mind was just, I was so tired. I just couldn't do it, you know? And I remember he got so frustrated at me. He said, God damn it, Francisco, just put the hand up there. I'm like, sorry, sir. I was just like, you know, sorry, sir. I hadn't slept at all. My mind is just not here. I'm sorry. I'm really trying. He just, okay. Just try.
yeah. And that's the thing, though. Like he would, like, afterwards. I mean, I can understand it. Like, having, you know, taught my own, like, well, I had a class or school or whatever for a couple of years back home, and that. I understand now his perspective, why he said things, why he reacted the way he did. That, you know?
Right. I think
time, you know.
And he was teaching us how to run, you know, how to run classes and how to teach and stuff like that. And it was really, really helpful. I mean, God knows I've used that for years and years when I have my own studios and stuff like that, when I have my own students. Angela says he sent one sailing down the sidewalk, went all the way down past where kids' business was. Yeah, the card, right. Richard Matthews said the Kenpo House sounds like great fun. Oh yeah, it was. It was amazing. Amazing. Remember the skunks living underneath the house? You don't remember? Yeah, and then every time the skunk will walk underneath our rooms, you just got that smell coming up. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, it was. It was.
We didn't care. Angela says, whenever Larry Hand awarded the desk, yes, I left. I knew someone did trouble. Hand sword. Right. Scott Higgins, James, any favorite Kenpo concepts or principles or personal discoveries since Green Street? He always asks this question. This is a good question.
I know, yeah. I think from me, it was discovering things like, you know, quarter beat timing and things like that. The timing element of Kenpo was something that I didn't really understand before I got to Green Street. For everything was back the old style, block, hit, punch. You know, the rhythm wasn't there, and I think that along with the whole idea of training for reality, training with purpose behind your, you know, what you do. When you have people like Clyde O'Brien, for example, used to do the spontaneity drills, and I loved them. Every time Clyde was teaching, they were phenomenal classes. And he would go around and he'd be like, caca, you know, crap, no.
And then
smack you, whatever. He made you realize that, yes, everything I do has to be like reacting in such a way that it makes sense. It's happening for a reason. I got to react according to what's whatever the incoming attack is and that, but to do it right, to not just kind of like half-ass do a block or something, or not to do a block that's really hard that's not actually blocking, if the target's off or whatever. So it was a mixture of things like that, learning things like spontaneity drills and doing the technique line, for example, with you guys, with like William wailing down with the freaking, as Cliff was saying about that right hand coming in for the 5 swords. If you didn't block that, you're done. You're a dust. And William, he would make sure you got hit, So training properly, training hard in that respect was very important for me. Regarding concepts and principles and that I could go on for hours. I mean, everything that I learned at Green Street just had an impact. And I think timing and then training for reality were the two things that really helped me to appreciate and understand Kenpo a lot more.
And any discoveries since then?
Since then, I'm getting older, slower. I have to be more efficient with my movement.
Right.
Things like that. I don't have the ability to do what I was as a young man. So I have to adapt a lot more of my techniques and that kind of stuff to whoever's in front of me. And with my limited weaponry now, with my back, I can't do the same sort of stuff I used to be able to do before. So, that kind of discovery.
I remember Clyde was definitely a big influence and big help for me. I remember when he was going to go there, he will let us know Friday night before, because he usually gets there on Saturdays. So I remember I will go to Starbucks, get a cup of coffee for him, get a cup of coffee for Larry, and one for myself. And I will, because he will usually get a little bit earlier, like around 8:30 or 9. So I had the coffee ready, right?
Yeah.
To have him in a good mood, so he will teach, and not just beat us up, because he would do that. Right? And then I remember going up to the high desert to, I think it was Ophelan, where he had his studio, his Taboo Self-Defense Kenpo studio, whatever. And going there on Sundays and working out all day. He was just amazing, an amazing instructor. So if you're watching, Clyde, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You've been big influence in my Kenpo for sure. So Damien says Kenpo House goes great until Clips does.
Dude,
all right. Yeah.
If Nala bit you, there was a reason Nala bit you. Let's put it that way.
Angela, I hadn't seen the particular breed in the UK before then. Every time I see one now, I think of that little the dog. Okay, man. So we're out of time, man. It's been an hour already.
I can't believe it. Dude, first, I have 2 things I want to say just before we go. One,
yes, of course.
I apologize about. I have something to apologize to you for. The kick at your test. That was. I don't know if you remember it. That was the first time I had ever kicked somebody. So I didn't know what I was doing. So I think I went a little too hard with my kick.
You get me in the solar plexus. Yeah, I remember.
I apologize.
That's good.
I just remember the look on your face after. It's like, oops. That was the one thing. Second thing,
I think they had it coming though.
Well, it wasn't intentional though. It wasn't intentional. It just happened to happen that way. The other thing I was just going to mention about with regards to, I think it was mentioned before, Larry mentioned it with the app. We have a whole, the app is undergoing some revisions right now with in the App Store. Hopefully we'll take care of some of the problems that people have been having with it. But we have a lot of content coming out next month from the past 25-year, the 25-year anniversary of LTKK in Chile. So Nelson is working on that at the moment, and will be. We also have the translations. I should say the transcriptions of all of the English the English video form sets and techniques that are on there that are being translated into Spanish, and we should hopefully have it all at the end of March. So yeah, that's just wanted to let people know about that. So yeah, there's the app, the ltkenpoapp.com, and once the App Store pushes out the new release, hopefully it will take care of all the little niggling problems that people have had. So
Well, it's hard to do an app, right? Did you do all this?
yeah, I
You're
did.
the developer?
Yeah, I after leaving Larry's, actually, I worked in a marketing company as a developer for about 10 years. And then I had the idea years ago, and was going to do it myself. Was going to figure out how could I pull videos from YouTube or something. And I figured, Larry is the man. Why wouldn't I talk to him and see if he was interested? So we did, and we kind of got together and got the app sorted out and got it up, and yeah, it's what you see there.
Beautiful.
That's a pretty cool picture, all right.
Beautiful. Yes, nice picture. Okay, so also if somebody wants to find you, they can find you on Facebook. That's your Facebook, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Jaime Leonardo. You can find him. Yes. Yeah, man. I just want to say I really, really appreciate your friendship. It's been a while. It's been a long time friendship, and you're not just my friend. You are my brother, mi pequeño hermanito. Yeah, and love your family. Please, my regards to everyone there, and thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And
my pleasure.
It's been one of the best podcasts I have loved so much. Thank you.
There's so much, Frank, that we've done over the years, and that we've shared at Pasadena. We could go on for hours, but it's been lovely to be able to reminisce with you and to share some of that with other people.
And I should say this just for everybody that's watching. I have always appreciated your skills in the arts. Okay, and I've always seen you as a pair, even though I gave you a lot of bad time back in the day.
Maybe it's because you just couldn't kick as high as I could, Frankie.
Well, yeah, I deserved the kick. No worries, no problem. I never felt angry about it.
You were a taekwondo before as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Right, you could kick. That's right.
Yeah. Well. Thank you, everybody for watching. Thank you, Jaime, for being here. I'm definitely going to ask you to be back here. We need to do this more often. So, just to remind everybody, we have coming up, we have March the 6th, Kenpo Coffee Collaboration Online Seminar with such a fine Kenpoist, Maestro Richard Matthews from Old Jersey, Scott Gonzalez from Phoenix, Arizona, Damien Abbott from Exeter, England, and myself. We're going to do this 4 master classes. Okay, so you need to sign up because it's spaces are going to be limited. Okay, so there's the information: ricky.matthews@gmail.com, or just go through PayPal and sign up. Okay, you were going to say something, Jaime?
I was just saying, what a crew that is. It's going to be an excellent seminar.
Yes, we're going to have lots of fun. Okay, so one more comment before we go. Richard Matthews says, another great show, Francisco. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, sir. And thank you, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. We have more things. And next week, we're going to have more guests, and we'll continue with the fun. Take care, everybody. Thank you.